published 1748 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 6th of May 2018, updated 1806 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 6th of May 2018. Not everyone could call his home the Crucible and get away with it. But the owner of this bungalow in Chesterfield can. He's Mike Watterson, the man who put snooker in its most famous home. He may go to Sheffield on Monday to catch a few frames at the World Championship final, but, suffering at 75 with his hips and kidneys though remarkably chipper, it is hell getting up and down stairs, so he may content himself with watching on his cinema-sized TV in his sitting room. The snooker on in the corner, he chats for 3 hours about his remarkable life in sport, his role in turning snooker into a TV phenomenon, and his anger at being kicked out of the game by ruthless rivals, and telling Brian Clough there was no way back at Derby County. Mike Watterson, the original Mr. Crucible, watches snooker at his home in Chesterfield. Watterson stands by his Q1 Rolls-Royce after becoming Derby County chairman in 1982. Watterson's Chesterfield bungalow has been renamed after Sheffield's famous snooker venue. Talking faster than Ronnie O'Sullivan Potts, Watterson starts at the beginning of the Crucible story. My wife Carol said she'd been to watch a play a couple of nights ago with a friend and that the theatre was absolutely perfect for snooker. The World Championship needed a new home for 1977. I had spoken to my great friend John Pullman, who dominated snooker in the 1960s, and he said they were in trouble. The previous promoter had gone off to Canada with all the money and they had lost the sponsorship, so I rang the theatre manager and had a look at the Crucible. It absolutely knocked me out. I thought this is the sort of place I would want to play and watch snooker in. The previous venues had been 2 bricks and a plank. That was their idea of tiered seating. This was perfect. A car dealer and sometime snooker promoter, as well as a fine player who won the British Amateur Championship in 1979, Watterson proved to the governing body, the WPBSA, that he could guarantee the event to the tune of £30,000, including £13,000 in prize money. Watterson sent his brother and nephew out in the family Ford Cortina to flog tickets. How many would turn up? Would Watterson's gamble pay off? I went into the auditorium on the first day and over 200 people walked in, and I thought, I love every one of you. Watterson, the man who put snooker in its most famous home, stands outside his bungalow. Watterson owns the scorecard from the Crucible's first televised 147, made by Cliff Thorburn. The intimacy of the venue was perfect. There was room for 2 tables with barely an inch spare. The 980 famous orange chairs and black seat numbers linked 1977 with the place today. I built snooker from nothing to just under £1 million prize money in about 5 years. Then they cut my throat. 2 people he blames are Rex Williams, a leading player, 7-time world billiards champion and chairman of the WPBSA, and Dell Simmons, an agent. I got home at the end of a day's play at the Crucible in 1983 and switched the TV on to CFAX and read that Watterson was being kicked out of snooker because he has a stranglehold on the game. This was said to the press by Simmons. I was devastated because I had created everything they had in tournaments: the UK Championship, the World Team Championship, the British Open, the International Open and others. No one else had contributed anything at all, and I saved the World Championship as well. It destroyed my faith, my trust in people and my motivation. It is why I did not do anything after 1986. Watterson and former world number 1 Cliff Thorburn sent her together at the Crucible, and when it came to the 40th anniversary celebrations, Watterson feels he was persona non grata. They told me they invited me, but that the invitation must have got lost in the post. When they got rid of me, they said they would give me £5,000 for my services to snooker, which they never paid. Rex Williams is the champion for many years. Watterson drove around with a number plate Q1 sold to him by snooker great Joe Davis. And Watterson feels Q1 might be central to Williams's antagonism towards him. He wanted Q1 and rang me. I told him I had done a deal with Joe and he would honor it and I would honor it. Still, Watterson can take consolation in what he created. The format of matches, devised by him for TV schedules, are still the same as 1979. The former Derby County chairman poses alongside his twin sons Andrew and Nicholas, as well as managing Cliff Thorburn and Kirk Stevens. He created the World Darts Championship, coming up with the legs and sets format, and founded the UK Indoor Bowls Championship at Preston Guildhall, changing the match from 21 ends to 3 sets of first to 7 ends to make better television. Both adaptations endure. He became chairman of Derby County in 1982, bringing Brian Clough's former assistant Peter Taylor out of retirement as manager. "The biggest thief in trousers," said Watterson of Taylor. He would put in expenses claims for being in Carlisle when everyone knew he had been no further than Nottingham. "We were playing a match against Nottingham Forest reserves one day and Brian Clough came up to me and said if I had 100 in readies to give him he would come back with Peter. I told him that if we had 100 grand in readies we'd spend it on a player, not on a manager. I got on fine with Clough, but he would have done my head in. He'd have tried to dominate everything." Watterson had grown up near Chesterfield's old Saltergate ground, and when he heard they were facing a bankruptcy he got out of his Derby commitments to save his hometown club. Now married to Diane, after Carol died of cancer aged 44, leaving 13-year-old twin boys Andrew and Nicholas, Watterson has long since sold his 7 snooker clubs. "I enjoy the snooker still," he said. "I like a lot of the young players, but they're po-faced robots compared to past players. They were showmen. Now they're like Theresa May. My goldfish has more charisma." Watterson, pictured with wife Diane, says he still likes snooker, but some players are like robots.